Hello everyone, and welcome to another video in the IELTS Learning Tips series. And today I want to talk about reading. I don't know how you feel about IELTS reading, but it is, I think, the one that I get the most questions about, and the one that I find a lot of people struggling with and maybe not improving their score quickly. And there are several reasons for this, and today I want to look at 3 things that might be stopping you from getting your score and explain how you can change those things so that you have a better chance of not only getting a higher score, but also managing your time much better. So I have a slideshow as usual to share with you to go through these things. And just a quick reminder of my website, IELTSlearningtips.com, and also my Facebook group where I also post things that will help you with your IELTS. So links for both of these are on this page, and all you need to do is just sign up and then you will get the information that's available. So let's go ahead and think about reading and what might be stopping you from getting the reading score that you want. Okay, so it could be several things, but I want to look at 3 things that in my experience often stop students from getting a high band. So how can we improve performance? So the first thing is, I find a lot of students when I start working with them are doing a lot of reading that is completely unnecessary. And of course, that's wasting your time. So my advice is, when you get the first reading, look at the title and subtitle. And if that's clear, and certainly from what I've seen in the most recent exams, the title and subtitle are usually quite obvious, so it's clear what the topic is. And then I don't think there's any need to read anything else, because the rest of the information will come as you do the questions. If there isn't a title, then that's because you'll probably get a question which asks you to choose a title. But in any case, there will be enough information. If you really are stumped and you don't know anything about the title or subtitle, then just have a quick look at the first paragraph. But honestly, in the ones I've seen recently, I don't think it's really necessary. Okay, the second unnecessary reading that a lot of you might be doing is skimming through the passage before you look at the questions and underlining words in the passage. Now, I never underline anything in the passage at all. All my underlining is done in the questions. And I also feel this is a waste of time, because how do you know if you're going to actually get a question on that word or that name or that date? So I wouldn't look at anything in the passage at all, and except for the title, the subtitle, and then just go and focus on the questions, because the answers lie in the questions and the wording of the questions. And the third unnecessary reading that a lot of students do is checking. So you'll find the place, you have your keywords, it looks like the right answer, but you just want to double check. And I find lots of students do this. They are not confident enough to put that answer down, so they start checking everywhere else to see if there's something else. That's such a waste of time. And quite often, it can stop you from getting the right answer, because you'll go somewhere else and change your answer. And it could well be, and is often the case, your first answer is your best one. So my advice is, if you've got a good answer and it looks like it might be the right answer, just write it down and move on. Now, if you have a doubt, then just make a mark, a question mark or something, to come back and check later on when you've finished the passage. But don't go checking around the passage, it just wastes time. Okay, so the next thing is to remember what the question is when you're searching for the answer. You'd be surprised how many students get into the passage and really don't remember the question. Now, this is not unusual, because some of the questions are quite long, and I myself will get to a place and think, okay, this looks possible, but I can't remember exactly what the question is. So it's important that you need to go back and really check the question again. It's quite easy to forget some of the keywords. So when you found the place, check again and make sure that the answer that you need is there. If you get stuck and you're not sure exactly what bit of the place you found, or you're not sure if you're in the right place, don't go checking around the whole passage. Again, this is a waste of time. Go back to the question and look at the question again and paraphrase it to yourself. Okay, what I'm looking for is blah, 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 and then go back to the place again. And thirdly, if you find an answer and when you go to the question you think actually this answer doesn't fit, don't try and squeeze it into the question. It's possible that you've been in the wrong place. This happens. So what you need to do is to check the keywords and see if there's another place where these keywords can be found. And that's why I always recommend you have at least 3 keywords, if not 4 keywords, because one keyword will not always find you the right answer. You have to have a combination of keywords coming together. So by keeping focused on the question, you're going to save time, you're going to not panic, and you're going to make sure that you get the right information for the answer. Okay, and the third thing is don't get in a panic. The problem with getting in a panic is that you don't see the wood for the trees. Now, imagine the scenario where you need to go somewhere and you can't find your car keys. And you start running around the house, looking everywhere for your car keys, and you're getting more and more anxious and you can't find them. And then somebody says, what's the problem? And you say, I can't find the car keys. And they say, oh, they're just here. Now, you probably looked in that place 4 or 5 times, but you simply didn't see them. And the reason is you're in a panic, and a panic stops you from seeing the obvious. So it's very important to keep calm. If you do the IELTS reading with good skills and a good level of English, there is plenty of time. The examiners would not, or the test setters, would not expect you to do it in 1 hour if it were not possible. So there is plenty of time, and if you're not managing the time, there are 2 things wrong. 1, it could be your English level is not good enough for the band you want, and 2, it could be that the skills you're using for IELTS are just not good enough to manage the time. It will not be the time that is the problem. Okay, so first of all, if you can't find the answer, take a deep breath. Have I seen something about this? Which paragraph was it in? If you haven't, then you say, right, which paragraphs have I not looked at? And go and look there first. Secondly, think about the geography of the passage. So if you've done headings, then you'll know where everything is. So think about where could it possibly be? If it's a definition, it's probably going to be in the 1st or 2nd paragraph. So look there first. If it's number, if they're asking you how many or how much, it's probably a number. So which paragraph has lots of numbers in? And look there. If it's about a particular event or a particular example, think about where that example is contained. So try and be a bit more systematic and use your brain rather than your eyes. And then it's a lot less random and you'll be able to find the information more quickly. And finally, as you're reading the passage, think about how it's developing, and that will help you to find later questions. So it's a lot about brain work and not about rushing off here, there and everywhere, skimming, scanning, underlining and all of that stuff. Think. Where was that? Where did I see that? Have I seen that? Okay, what haven't I looked at yet? And by using this more systematic and brain approach, if you like, then you're going to find the answers a lot more quickly. And if you have headings, I noticed recently a couple of students said they leave the headings to the last. That's a big mistake. If you have headings, you should do them first. They're often the first question. The reason being, once you've done the headings, then you know what's in every paragraph, if you do them properly. And then that helps you for all the subsequent questions. Okay, so I think if you stop doing some of these things and start doing the ones that you're not doing, it could help you a lot with your reading to get more accurate answers, therefore a higher score, and also manage the time better. And students I work with who work on their English, work on their reading skills, and use these techniques can generally finish the reading in about 50 to 55 minutes, which gives you 5 to 10 minutes to go back and look at any questions that you're not 100% certain about. Okay, so thank you for watching. I hope that's helpful, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye.